little bit longer for a few more people to join up. Um, if you can hear me, just let me know in the little chat box down on the left. I just want to make sure everything is working as good. Okay, thanks, Jamie. This will be my first webinar. Normally I do in-person meetups, but I thought I'd give a webinar format a trial to make it accessible to people that can't get out to the meetups. So thanks for all coming along, guys. Um, I'll just give it one more minute and then I'll get started. All right, I'll kick things off. Tonight I was sort of through a few things. I'll sort of start with kind of the differences between automated trading and semi-automated trading. And then I'll spend sort of the bulk of the rest of the time going through the semi-automated trading platform, which is now called Quant Black. So I was doing it as Couch, but gone through a name change, and I'm sort of working on it now as Quant Black. So I'll just give a quick introduction to who I am for those of you that don't know. And then I'll go through sort of the main differences between semi-automated and then my sort of 10 minute a day trading process, which is kind of what I spend on semi-automated trading. If you don't count all the coding that I do to build my platform, but actual semi-automated trading is usually about 10 minutes a day. And then I'll talk through my Quant Black platform. It's a free platform. It's just something I've built myself that I share with those that want to use it. So for those of you that haven't met me before, I kind of well, my name's Matt Bailey. I kind of count myself as a full-time trader. I've got the flexibility of running another business, so I've got a lot of time that I can spend on actual trading. So it does make it easy for me to commit to trading. I really only do semi-automated and fully automated trading, and now I've been doing that for almost 4 years now. So I've spent quite a lot of time over the last few years getting involved in trading. So I'm sort of a scientist by trade. So I've got a laboratory as my other business, but I've been programming since I was about 11 years old, when I think I started programming. So I've got a lot of programming really well with trading, especially the way the market are today. So what I like to do is sort of distinguish between semi-automated trading and fully automated trading, because there are quite some big differences. Well, I mean, the approach to the type of trading is quite different. So semi-automated is basically you have some sort of human decision involved in using a strategy. Fully automated is you basically, once it's set up, you don't touch it until you retire it. So with fully automated strategy or fully automated trading, there's kind of a constant strategy development process. It's kind of like a factory of strategy development, which you're constantly producing new strategies. You want to be trading with at least sort of 10 different strategies. And some of them may only last a few months. Some of them may last, a year or maybe two if you're really lucky. But they will come to a point where you have to retire them, and then you replace them with a new one that you've been working on and is ready to trade. So it's this constant development process. it's quite a complex evaluation of strategies. You can't just run a back test and expect that to be future performance. There's quite a lot involved with determining how well this strategy may work in the future. So it is quite easy to fail, and it can be very, very time consuming as well. Because I would spend sort of 40 hours a week for about 3 months to produce one good strategy, or maybe one or two good strategies over a few months. So it can take a lot of your time. But don't get me wrong, it is very rewarding, but it is something you have to really commit to. As opposed to semi-automated trading, again, you're still building algorithms and you're trading based on the rules of these algorithms and the conditions of these algorithms. So you're still using an algorithm. The only difference is there's a human deciding whether they want to use that algorithm or not, or whether they want to take that signal or not, or that trade. So that human factor is introduced there. And if you compare it to just manually trading, it does reduce a lot of the human disadvantage to trading. I mean, humans tend to get quite emotional or reckless with their trading. You don't eliminate it completely, but it does reduce that quite a lot if you've got fixed rules that you're meant to be following for that strategy. And in comparison to fully automated strategies, I think that humans can adapt to the market a lot faster than a computer can. A computer does need a lot of data to change the way it thinks, and it needs very specific data feeds as well. So humans are much better at sort of taking an overall picture of the market and forming an opinion on that, whereas computers need very specific data sources, and it needs a lot of data to change the way it behaves. So in that sense, semi-automated trading can be a bit better in that sense. But the main edge I find from semi-automated trading is just having a system and a consistent approach to trading. It's not so much the algorithm itself, despite what people may try and convince you of. It's really just sticking to a system and having rules and having a specific to trade, and that way you kind of learn when the algorithm may be doing, it may be more likely to succeed, or it may not work so well. So you kind of learn a little bit about the market that way, and you get a little bit of an edge from doing it the same way every time. So that's where I think most of the edge comes from with semi-automated trading. Of course, when you add an unknown variable to an algorithm, the unknown variable being a human, there's absolutely no way you can calculate whether that will be a good strategy or not, because you don't know if that human will take all the bad trades. You don't know if that human will take all the good trades, or anywhere in between. So once you add that unknown variable, you can't really say with any statistical confidence that it will be a good algorithm or it won't be. Typically for me, the best algorithms suited for semi-automated trading are the ones that just didn't quite cut it for the fully automated system. So they have a good back test, they make money in historic data, but they don't quite meet my performance criteria for a fully automated system. If they did meet my performance criteria, then I just wouldn't trade it as a semi-automated system. I would just use it as a fully automated system. So in that sense, they should have a little bit of an edge, but it's mainly just sticking to a system that has the best outcome. So this is kind of my semi-automated approach, my 10 minutes a day sort of approach to semi-automated trading. What you do, you read the news, you keep up with the economic data and economic environment around the world and politics. Some websites such as Bloomberg or Zero Hedge are good news sites. MyFX Book is good for the economic calendar. So you just spend 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes a day, just keeping up with what's going on around the world. You can read some analyst reports. There's a lot of brokers out there that'll have analysts that put out their opinion on the market. You can agree or disagree with them. Just read it all, take it all in. And that way you can kind of get a feeling of weak markets and strong markets, and you can use that in your trading, especially with FX pairs. If you've got a feeling that one market is particularly weak, or one currency is particularly weak, and one currency is particularly strong, then that's going to make a good trade. And then once you've formed your opinion of the market, that's when you use your automated strategies or your semi-automated strategies to trade systematically with well-defined rules and conditions. And that's where this Quant Black platform comes in that I've put together. So like I was saying before, I built the Quant Black platform for myself. It's how I trade. It doesn't instantly make you a good trader, but it just helps you become a good trader. And the way it works, for those of you that haven't used, I mean, some of you have used the Couch Trader platform, but it works exactly the same as that. You install the algorithms on MetaTrader 4, which is the trading software, trading platform. So you install the algorithms on there, and then you operate everything with the web-based console. So everything's on the web. You can use it from a browser, or you can use it from your mobile phone, your iPhone, or whatever. Okay, what I might do is I'll close this presentation. I'll bring up the actual console on my screen. I'll just give us a minute to just share my screen here. All right, so now you should be viewing my screen. So basically, this is the Quant Black console. What you need to do, you need to go to quantblack.com and scroll down and find where you can create an account if you haven't done so already. Once you've created the account, there's some installation instructions here about how to set up the algorithms in MT4. The downloads page will have my algorithms you can download. There's only 2 up at the moment: Follow the Money and Slipped. I'll put another one up soon. You don't want to be using too many. You want to stick to sort of 3 or 4 at the very most, and get to know those algorithms and how they behave. But once you're set up on an MT4, you don't need to touch MT4. You just let that run on its own, and everything is operated through this web console. And like I said, you can put this on your phone if you like. You can load it up on your phone as a web page, and it will look still look fine. If I hit that button, you can see this is like a phone view, so it still works on your phone, and I use it a lot on my phone. So the dashboard is where you log into. And what you'll see is the current signals from the algorithms that I have loaded. The only signals coming up right now are from the Take 2 algorithm, which I haven't put up on this website yet. I will do soon. But this Take 2 algorithm is basically on the 4-hourly chart. And I won't go through too much details about how it works at the moment. I'll do that when I actually upload it. But there should be quite a lot of signals from the Take 2 algorithm. And what it's showing me now is there's 2 signals, one on WTI M8, which is for IC markets. That's US oil, basically, WTI. And then it's got one on the US 500, the S&P 500, the US share index. And it actually said these aren't current signals. This is telling me that there's a high probability that this bar will close as a signal. Until it closes as a signal, it's not actually a signal to trade. It's just telling me that in 254 minutes, because this is a 4-hour bar, this is highly likely that this will close as a signal. Whether it says probability high, medium, or low has got nothing to do with whether you might win or lose the trade. It's just telling you that there's a good chance the signal might happen on this bar, so maybe you should have a look at it and work out if that's a trade you may want to take. Because in 194 minutes, when this bar closes, I might be asleep, or I'm at work, or I might be doing something else. So I don't want to be at my computer the moment the bar closes just to check on the trade. So it's showing me the signals here. The way this platform is set up is once you activate a strategy, it's not a fully automated system. It won't keep taking trades. It will just be activated for the next signal. So if the next signal happens, it will take that trade. So if I just click on TIM8, this is the current signal. Set its probability of high. If this bar closes and still meets all the conditions of the strategy, it will automatically set a stop loss, 71.22, which is 93 pips from the current level. The profit target will be 73.18. So it gives you an idea of what you're aiming for here. And what I usually do is I go to my MetaTrader or my trading platform and I look at the charts and just see where those levels are and see if that does look like an achievable trade. With oil at the moment, I wouldn't be going for this one because that might be a bit unachievable at this point, in my opinion. I'm wrong half the time, so yeah. So it tells you what the stop loss and the target will be set as if you do set up to take this trade. It will size your trade based on. So the way I like to trade is I size each trade based on the size of my account. So by default, set up to size based on risk. Trade size 1%. I'm risking 1% of my account balance. So if I've got a $10,000 account, if I risk 1%, then it will size the trade so that if I lose that trade, I will lose $100. So that's a good way to size trades, I believe, because then they're all equal. So you don't have like an odd trade that was a huge winner and an odd trade that was a huge loser sort of thing. They're all going to win and lose about the same. If you like, you can trade based on lots. You just toggle that to lots, and you can put in to lot. I typically trade on 1% risk is a fairly safe risk level. There'll also be a default expiry of 24 hours. So if I activate this strategy, it goes green to know I've activated it. And now what it's doing, MT4 now knows that I want to take that signal when it comes, if it comes. If it doesn't come, it won't take the trade. So in what is it, 251 minutes, no, sorry, 191. There's a bit of a glitch. Sometimes it adds an hour to that for a few seconds, and then it goes back. So I'll have to sort that out. But so the bar will close in 191 minutes, and if the signal occurs, it will automatically take the trade. It will set up the stop loss. It will set the target. It will size the trade, and it will manage trade until it exits. If the signal doesn't occur in this 24 hours, it's now got 23 hours left, but if it doesn't occur, the strategy will just go back to sleep. You'll need to reactivate it if you still want to go long on oil after the 24 hours. So the idea with that is you have a look every day what's available or what you might want to trade. You set up your strategies, and then the next day, if it hasn't taken the signal, you want to sit down and reevaluate what the market's doing and see if you still want to trade that asset in that direction. So I always set it by default 24 hours. You could set it to 4 hours if you wanted to, if you just wanted to only take the trade if it occurs on the next bar. So that's active now, so that MT4 will sit there and wait for that trade to happen. If it's a current signal, this will say it won't say probability, it will say signal current, and it'll be green as well. So if the signal is current, it means this strategy produced a signal on the last bar. Now, ideally, you want to take the trade as soon as the new bar opens, but if you've missed it for whatever reason, it will tell you here, it doesn't show at the moment because it's not a current signal. It'll say something about pips off ideal entry. And if it's green, then you're in a better position anyway, so you can still take it. If it's red, it means the trade's moving in the direction that you're hoping for. So you might be worse off by a few pips or whatever. So you can still take it. You can still take the trade for the entire next bar. So this is a 4-hour bar. So when it says signal current, I can take that trade for a whole 4 hours. I've got that option. And if I click activate strategy when the signal is current, it will essentially take that trade almost straight away. There is about a 20-second delay, up to a 20-second delay for this platform to communicate with MT4. So that's how you look at signals and how you activate your strategies. If you ideally you want to do it proactively. You want to do it when it says probability high. So it gives you a bit of time to have a look at the charts and have a think about whether that might be a good signal to take. If it says signal current, you're kind of rushing really quickly to work out whether you want to take that trade. So the whole platform was set up so you can trade proactively. So that signal might not actually happen at the end of the bar, but at least you're set up to take it if it does happen. If you want to be really proactive, and say you're going to bed for the night or something and you really want to be long dollar yen, it's unlikely that right now is the best time to open that trade. If you think you want to be long dollar yen, it's unlikely that this very second will be the best time to open the trade. But what you can do is click on, I was here before, if you click on show all assets, it shows you everything you can trade. The signals still show up, but all the ones that don't have signals are just one line. You can click show strategies. And see, I've got 3 strategies I can use for dollar yen. So if I really wanted to be long dollar yen and I'm going to bed for the night and I want to stay up and waiting for the signals, I can, depends what I can activate all these strategies if I like. Set up my trade size, expiry, and I just hit activate, and that will wait. In the next 24 hours, if a signal occurs for any of those strategies, it will take the trade. So I can go to bed at night, and in the morning I might wake up and one of these strategies took the trade, and hopefully I'm in profit. So when I finish this little demonstration, I'll go back to my webinar room and I'll look at any questions that people might have. So feel free to throw some questions in there, and I'll do my best to answer them. So the next little section is trade management. So I've just added this in. There's a couple of people in the group that wanted this added, so I've put it in. So trade management, it'll show you your open trades. And some details about those trades. If I click the little blue arrow, it gives me some management options. So one that I like to use is move to break even. So move to break even when 50% of the target is reached. So you're halfway to your target, and I just add this on as well. It's really a psychological thing, plus 2 pips. Because if I move it to break even, I'm probably going to have a loss because of my spread or commission or whatever. But if I just add 2 pips to it, it comes up as a win. So that's really not that relevant, but from a psychological point of view, I like to add that in so it says I won the trade. The one that I don't use, but a lot of people do, is close a portion of the trade. So you can set this to 25%, for example. So when 25% of the target is hit, it will close 50% of the trade. Sorry, that box is a bit small on my screen. So you can close half your trade when 25% of the target is hit, or when 50% is hit. If I click manage, that will put that management strategy in place. So active management, close portion when 50% of target has been reached, close 50% of trade. So that will do that automatically now. And yeah, a few people were asking for that, so I put it in. Now the performance tab, this is the main reason I built this this platform because I wanted to track the performance of the individual strategies that I was using, not just my overall performance. I wanted to know what strategies were working for me and what weren't. So overall, there's the overall performance. This is just a demo account, so it breaks it down per month. So this is May. So if I had more of a history, it will have April, March, February, etc. along here. So it breaks it down per month because I like to look at my monthly return and compare that to every other month. The average will just be the average of all these months that would be here. I've only got 1 month here, but if there were more months, it would be the average of all the months. And rolling is basically the last 30 days. So it's not the start to the end of the month, it's just whatever the last 30 days were. If I click on show more, it has some more information there. I'm tracking all the trading costs as well because sometimes it's a little bit difficult to even know how much your trading costs are for the different trades. So yeah, so you can have a look at that as you see fit. And then, like I said, it will break down the individual strategies so you can know what's working for you and what isn't. So that's follow the money and then slipped and then take two. So it'll break it all down. Again, breaking it down from month to month. The other thing that I've put in here is I'm not sure if it's working 100% just yet. I mean, this whole platform is only really new. I used to be Couch Trader, but Quant Black has only been running for about 2 weeks, so there are a few little things I need to fix up, and feel free to point them out to me if you notice something. But every signal, I think it's working. I need to test this a little bit more. But this will basically, I've got the EA running, the algorithm running, taking every single signal that comes along, and it's recording its performance, like the win percentage, the number of trades, the winning trades, losing trades, profit factor, etc., etc. The reason why I do this is because I want my stats. So this column is your stats. I want this to be better than this. So I want to be adding a bit of value to this strategy. I mean, there hasn't been enough trades here to have some real value, but usually I find, and in the Couch Trader platform, I was about 10% higher than if I took every signal. So if every signal was coming up a 50% win rate, I was getting about a 60% win rate over several hundred trades as well. So that's kind of the edge that I'm adding to the algorithm. So I like to look at that and see if I'm actually if I'm doing worse than taking every signal, then maybe I need more practice, or maybe that strategy isn't for me. So that's some things to look at there. So they're the 3 main sections of the website. What I might take you through, before I take you through one of the strategies, what I might do is, I just mentioned the Slack group. So you just need to email me to join up with our Slack group, which is just an app for your phone. It's a chat app where we have a discussion. I mean, there's only a few people in there at the moment, but I'm building this platform up. We'll hopefully get a lot more. But basically, in that Slack group, all my trades and all my setups will be automatically posted to that Slack group. So if I activate one of these strategies, if I click activate, it will post to that Slack group and say Matt has activated the take two strategy on the US tech stocks, going long. And it's more not so you can copy all my trades, it's more just to stimulate discussion in the group. So it will post whenever I activate a strategy, whenever I deactivate a strategy, if I execute a trade, and I'll also have a little crying face if I lose a trade. Little money bags icon when I win a trade, so I prefer to see the money bags icon more often than not. But yeah, it's all just to help facilitate discussion. It's not there for as a copy service or anything like that. And so yeah, that's the Slack group. Just email me if you want to join up to that. So what I might do is I'll take you through the follow the money strategy. So there's a bit of a description here on how the strategies work on the website. I will eventually upload sort of YouTube videos on how these strategies work and sort of when to use them, when not to use them. Sort of give a bit more of a demonstration of how they work, because you really should understand the strategy as well as you can to get the best out of it. So this follow the money strategy I've just put up recently. I like this one. Um, it's quite a fast strategy. It's essentially an intraday strategy. It means you opening the trade and closing it within the same day. It works on the hourly time frame. So I mean, with semi-automated strategies, it's you don't want to go any less than that because it's too hard to catch the signal. So